Okay, hi, in 15 minutes or less, I'm going to give the short version of this assignment, evaluating a database article, and then you have to look at a different video to see how to get into the Opposing Viewpoints database and use the library guide to get there. You need to also be looking at the PDFs that are attached here to give you a little bit more, but they list out some of these things. So we're using the ORIGIN CRAP CRAP test to evaluate articles, and in this case, a database article from the Opposing Viewpoints database. The one that I have chosen for us today in the Opposing Viewpoints database is Mexico's soda tax is working. The U.S. should learn from it. The really nice thing about these database articles is they organize this information, and the piece de resistance is they do the citation for you, which you have to use that. So we have to have the citation and we have to copy paste that in. So that's part of it. You should grab that pretty quickly. It's going to say that here at the bottom, right? That identify the article by its full MLA citation. And also you want to take this information here that's required and probably pretty much copy paste it into a Word document. Don't forget that you have to have an MLA heading, and you need to and I'm going to change this into the font that matches the rest of the, what is it? It's Inherit 12. Well, okay. Um, it's definitely 12. Got to get it the right size. I'll just keep it on Calibri for this minute. Okay, and so I'm gonna copy paste the stuff that I'm supposed to find, and then at the end I'm going to put that MLA citation. Okay, now it's not formatted, but it is there. The other thing that we're going to need that for is it's going to give us that origin. So that was the first thing it was asking for. Where did it originate? Where was it originally published? And you're going to find that in the citation. Okay, so you see the language right here, originally published as Mexico's soda tax is working. The U.S. should learn from it. Wired with italics, July 2015. Okay, so I can just put my mouse right over that and search for it. And fabulous, just in a few seconds. It's telling me that this has got the latest in technology. So I don't even have to go to the website. I've got a lot of information about it right here. It's a magazine. It's got an overview right here. It's a monthly American magazine published in print and online. Focuses on how emerging technologies affect culture, the economy, and politics. Tells me who sponsors it, Condé Nast Publications. It's got an editor. Got a lot of, other editors, a lot of information right there. Okay, so this is a news source, and this is who sponsors it and owns it, Condé Nast Publications. And you can link and you go, you can dig in a little bit deeper. So when I talk about origin, okay, a news source is going to be popular, not academic, and because it reports, it's going to be secondary and not primary. Okay, so we just quickly found that out. But also related to that is the currency. And so it said that originally it was published July 2015, which is a lot older than the information we got up here, which said 2017. And then in other places it said 2022. And it really didn't come from, the origin is not the Gale, and Gale they're the publisher of this database. What we want is go back to this article and find out where it came from first, and you have to have the citation for that. So that information is there. So we've got the date, and then we have to process and go, wow, is that current enough? When we look at the actual article, we're going to dig in and find out that they really based it on some information that was even older than that, which is usually how data is collected. Previous, it's not that day. We'll take a look at that real quickly, and that's how we would assess the currency. Reliability, this is the hardest one for students, I think sometimes, is about the sources and if it was original or not. And I can just tell you, if it was popular, it's not original. If it's secondary, it's not original. And that's the case here. The wording we're looking for, though, is, where do they get this information? And they're reporting on some things that are news types of things that could be found out there in the news. But then the person lives in Mexico, so they knew about this, their Mexico tax. But all of a sudden we get some data and things here that came from somewhere else. Percentages of Mexican adults that are overweight and how many are obese, and they give us this web address with a little bit of a link. We could go find that. We could go verify that. Then you've got the name of the organization, then also the comparison to the US and that source. So good right here. This is good. This means they have told us where it came from and given us enough information that we could go and find it as well. And that's really great. Here's another source. Xu Wen Ying, health economist at the University of UNC Chapel Hill. They did some research on that, and they collaborated with Mexico's National Institute of Public Health, and they found their results. And she's going to give us a little bit of those right here. Ing says, see, kind of the results. So they aren't just saying it because they think it's true. They tell you the sources. Another source, Kelly Brunell, public health expert at Duke University who studies obesity. Another one, Claire Wong, Alejandro Cavillo, and they tell you something about them. Okay, they have cited their sources, not on a works cited page, which academic sources do, but the way newspaper and magazines do. They tell you in the text itself, in the paragraphs, who this is, and gives you enough information about them that you can go look it up. And sometimes they even have links to the content. So we find that she does a pretty good job of giving us reliable expert sources and telling us where they were, what they say, giving us their opinion. And that's what we want for and expect from a reliable report. It's not the original research, but it's a report on that. So that's really, really important. The authority, the author, are they reporting on experts or are they the expert and then getting their credentials? So we go back and Lizzie Wade is quoting other experts. Why? Because she is not an expert on obesity or the soda taxes. Now, she does live in Mexico. That makes her more reliable for someone to write about what's going on in Mexico than someone who doesn't. But what we would need to do is to Google her, and we could do that. We find out that she writes for Science Magazine as well as Wired. She says she's written for a lot of publications. Okay, her expertise though is in writing. She's been recognized for excellence in feature writing about the earth sciences. But she only has a bachelor's degree in literature. She was a Fulbright scholar in Mexico City, which is prestigious. So she's not an expert, like a medical expert, like the people that she cited or mentioned, which is, but she did use good experts. So you would give those things I just showed you. Tell us about Lizzie Wade, her credentials. She's not an expert on the soda tax, but she does live in Mexico, and she did research. She researched the experts to let us know what it is. And then the focus of the article, you would have to read it some, and the audience. Well, if it's geared toward the U.S. should learn from it, yes, the U.S. But more specifically, she does talk about the city of Berkeley, California, and as a model, so maybe she's really targeting California. And these little commentaries tell you kind of an overview of their purpose. She is praising the success of the soda taxes in Mexico and speculating that they would be effective in the United States. So she's advocating for them. She suggests the 20% tax in Berkeley will work and be effective. Okay. So, she's saying, hey, this should work, the one in Berkeley. So that's her audience. That's her purpose, saying, hey, it's worked over here, so maybe it'll work there. And then you put all this together and go, is this good enough? So you've got your document, you fill this in with your MLA heading, your specific article and title, and then answer these questions in those sentences that give that information and talk about it. And then the last thing you want to go down here to do is get that formatted. It's got to be double spaced, right? And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a Control T. I did, while it was still in that, like you do for copy paste, I did CTR, like Control Tab on the bottom of my keyboard, bottom left, and the letter T at the same time, and it formatted it for me correctly. Now I'm going to want that font to match my essay whenever I put it in there, Right now, this is Calibri 12, on this page, or inherit or something, but we would want to get it all matched up. But that's as far as we'll go today. That's how to get that citation, copy it, get the information from it you need, get the citation copy pasted into your thing here, and fill in the information for the assignment.